He wants them to leave. Is there a timeline for that?
I don't think that, at this stage in 2024, knowing Senegal and the Senegal we live, there will be any question of a country saying, I'm not leaving.
Hey fam, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that from wherever you, my lovelies, are watching this from, you're doing all right and God has protected you and preserved you very well. And to my people that continuously support me on here, I appreciate you guys so very much. And as always, we do have another one to look at today. My goodness, brace yourself today because this is nerves, this is audacity. In my African accent, this is audacity. Some of these palm-colored people continuously look at us and I think in their brains and minds, they have that picture. And when I talk about these things, yeah, I get personal and I get passionate too. Because I tell you what, I stay here. I choose to be fully involved and look and observe and also bring these things to the attention of my audience so that when one day we are all free, we remember the steps that we have taken. This French journalist had nerves and audacity to ask this, Senegalese, I think, minister, these ridiculous questions. And her answers were satisfying. I want us to watch this first. We will talk about it.
Because I haven't yet asked you about Senegal's relations with the former colonial ruler France. Those relations going forward. What are those going to look like? Because a central plank of your political platform has been to reset relations between Senegal and France. Specifically, the president has said recently in the French press that he wants the French soldiers to leave. There are about 350 French soldiers, 2 military bases in Dakar. He wants them to leave. Is there a timeline for that?
Well, the timeline, I'm not going to sit here in Al Jazeera and give it to you, I don't think. I think the timeline will be
Tell us
discussed.
what those conversations are like then.
Yeah,
At least the tone of the conversations between Senegal and France under this presidency.
I think the tone of conversation is healthy. I mean, we've been, since the president
What does that
came in
mean
power,
for
we've been in
Senegal?
France twice. I mean, saying that the army that is in your country need to go back to their country doesn't mean that you are, harassing them or you are impolite. It's just a form of saying that I am a sovereign country and I am entitled to defend myself and I can defend myself.
Well, have they agreed to leave?
Well, is this, I mean,
The president
what do you
says,
mean by agree?
The president has said that there will no longer be French soldiers in Senegal. So that would require the soldiers to leave. Have they notified?
It requires a discussion. I mean, but that is something that is a given. I don't think that, at this stage in 2024, knowing Senegal and the Senegal we live, there will be any question of a country saying, I'm not leaving. I don't think, I think France is a old partner, an existing partner of Senegal.
But they're being kicked out.
The army, the French army is leaving. Asking the French army to leave doesn't mean you are kicking the French up. I mean, if the French, I don't think the French sees it as you do.
Well, about that, when you see a French diplomat walk through the door, you're foreign minister of Senegal, what do you see? Do you see a friend? Do you see an ally? Do you see a rival? Do you see an exploiter? What do you see?
I see a diplomat.
That's not an answer.
When you say that if I see a French diplomat walk through out the door, coming to see me, I see a diplomat that I can sit down and talk with, a civil discussion. The diplomat that comes to defend its interest, and the Senegalese Minister of Foreign Affairs that defend the interests of Senegal and the interests of West Africa and Africa. That's what I see. And then we sit down and talk. It's always, out of conversation, we always can find consensus. But it's up to us to say what we want. It's up to us to negotiate and discuss until we find a common ground.
And what do you want?
That doesn't
What
mean
does Senegal
aggressivity.
want? What does that relationship look like going forward?
Oh, I mean, I think that the relationship right now in Senegal is, what we are saying is that we have several partners in the world. Senegal is open to partnership. And we are not a colony, we are an independent country, we are a sovereign country, And like any sovereign country, you have the liberty to partner, to negotiate, to discuss, to exchange with everyone else. I mean, it's even surprising to me, honestly, to be asked questions like, how do the French feel when you decide you're going to have another partner? I mean, even though I've lived long
That's
enough
not the question I asked.
I understand, but it's just such a surprise as an African woman, as someone who has traveled the world, who has seen so many developing countries be independent, from Bolivia to Vietnam to South Africa and to West Africa, and to be told, how would you feel if the French army leaves your country? I'll feel okay. And I think the French should feel okay. I think they will feel okay. But the France I see today will feel very happy when they, to have a partnership with Senegal that is equitable, that is transparent, that is fair, and that is polite. And mind you, I mean, this is what discourse we say to everyone. We are not against anybody, but we are like every country, Senegal's interest first, like any other country. And I think that every African is feeling that way, especially African youth. Africa's interest first. Of course, defending that interest is a process. There are things that we have to get. There are places you want to go. It's a process. But it doesn't mean that we are against other people. There's a proverb that saying that I love myself doesn't mean that I don't like you. It's a Wolof proverb. I would have said that to you. Saying that I love myself doesn't mean I don't like you.
Nous avions une relation sécuritaire. On a oublié de nous dire merci. C'est pas grave, ça viendra avec le temps. L'ingratitude, je suis bien placé pour le savoir.
Go to hell, macaroni. Go to fucking hell, right? They will create the problem and then say they're trying to help you solve it. And while trying to help you solve it, they'll take from you. And this is why you have to know your history. There's nothing I hate in real life worse than a ninja that robbed you and is trying to help you look for what you quote unquote lost, right? If you don't know your history, these people are going to keep getting one up on all over us, right? The idea that you can sit there as a president of France and just act oblivious to not understanding why these new leaders in Africa want you to leave the continent is quite a shocker, right? And this is the thing, right? So the thing with colonization and then the guise of independence. So you colonize, you loot, right? Then you grant independence, but at the same time still empowering the leaders who don't have the country's best interest at heart, all right? And then you create a state in which men lean more towards these terror groups because they are hungry, they have got nothing going on for themselves. You know what makes it easy for people to be radicalized? A failed state, lack of resources, right? Anyway, but you move on from there, and then you then say, hey, we'll help you fix this problem. And while you're there, you're looting even more. And this is the thing, this is why I tell black people all across the diaspora, all across the world, right? I don't give a damn if you don't see us as similar, especially West African diasporans, right? Just know our oppressors practice the same moves, right? They create the problem. Let me help you solve it. Oops, couldn't solve it. All right, never mind. We left. Ooh, why's your land that way? I guess you're going to need us one day, right? Think about it. It's like the war on drugs in America. We already knew what Reagan and them was doing. You know what I'm saying? Flood the hood with crack, right? Say, hey, now we got to have a war on drugs. Let's say, ooh, war on drugs not working. We're leaving. And then stay away from fire and go, oof. You still can't seem to figure it out. I wonder why. Because you needed us in the first place. This shit is ridiculous. And this is why I am not someone that's going to tell you that military leaders are the answers. But that's why I've sat and I've looked at the new leaders of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and go, oh yeah, I understand. I understand why it's the countries listed. Their people are embracing them. It is really comical. And that's why I like sometimes when macaroni talks. Macaroni talks because once in a while he'll let that colonial master talk. He'll let it go. Oh yeah, he'll let you know, hey, we still own you. We supposed to own you. Why would you try to do otherwise? Go to fucking hell.
I have a question, like this is genuine. If you call yourself civilized, but then you do not want to live an independent country because this is not a colony like she mentioned, then what is wrong with you? Are you really civilized? Or are you trying to remind us that whatever you have you take it by force. You see this journalist that he was trying to drive this entire interview in his own direction, getting his own questions of how he feels exactly, and also on behalf of his people. What if we say no? What if the French say no? Excuse you? Say no on whose land and on whose terms and on whose resources? And as who? Those are the questions that I have going on and cooking and boiling in my head. Saying no as who? Do we have any base in your country? What is the importance of your bases in our country when you cannot even control or even promote peace or any of that? When just that Macron guy came out and be like, Africa should be grateful. Oh, grateful for you taxing and taking colonial tax of about $500 billion each and every year out of the countries that you colonized. Oh, be grateful because when you were leaving, you destroyed each and everything and you told these people to compensate you because they told you we are done and we want you gone. Oh, be grateful when you have built your institutions based on our resources and our money. Oh, be grateful for the leaders that you have assassinated. Be grateful, right? And I don't know why when these people sit on these interviews, they feel like, we owe them gratitude. We have to be grateful. It's like, what if they say no? How does the French feel about this? And why do we even care about how they feel? I feel like if they are civil as they say they are, this wouldn't affect them. What do you feel when you look at a French delegate, moving out of the door? What do you feel like? He's a person, normal human being, no superior, no. And Africa is taking a direction, West Africa is taking a direction that I am so proud and praying to God that the sun shines as it really does on this continent. The audacity, the nerves of asking, what if they don't want to leave? Do you think it is okay? Are you going to be okay? Since when were we not okay? They came and invaded the continent. They found people okay. Whatever they were not familiar with, they called it evil, demonized everything. And you have the nerves to come in my house and give me the rules? And she said it perfectly. If I say, I love myself, does not mean that I don't love you. We get guilt-tripped whenever we front ourselves and prioritize ourselves. It happens all the time, even in the Black community. When you prioritize yourself, prioritize your people, that's a problem. Africans, Black people are supposed to be fighting for others. They should be accommodative of others. How many people accommodate us? How many of our people have access to the resources of the West? How many? And if they do, what do they have to go through to get to access these resources? The entire economy, entire aesthetics, entire, education, entire everything has been built on gold and resources and wealth that has been looted out of Africa in the name of we are protecting and preserving peace on the continent. For who? Who are you protecting and whose peace are you preserving? When these people be busy destabilizing, they destabilize, they sponsor the instability that be happening in the background when they are looting. And that's why when these conversations are brought on the table, these people that are delusional as hell, they come and sit on that interview without any shame, without any recognition of the history of the past. And what has the French government has to do if your bases are in a country? What has that got to do with you controlling who I have to partner with and who I am not supposed to be partnering with? That's a problem. If you're here, you're going to be controlling the government and the narrative and who does what and who does not do what. And I think it is time. I love this minister very much. She said, especially for the African youths, they feel like this is the best decision. It is time for us to prioritize our people, put the interests of the African people first. And this is what we have been shouting and crying about all the time. We, the young people of Africa, this is the time we've been waiting for. Chad chased you, Mali chased you, Burkina Faso chased you. The West in general, West Africa is, shh, get out of the way. We don't want you here. You said you are helping us. We don't need your help anymore. If you come to my house and you offer help and I am open to it, right? And then time comes and I'm like, I don't need your help anymore, right? And you have the nerves to tell me, but I still want to help. And I don't want you. I don't need you here. And you feel some type of way? Do you see me in your house? Do you? No, absolutely not. We have a saying over here, oh my God, forgive me, because I'm about to get into the Africa, yes. But we have a saying over here that says, Serwaja okota asinga nanyinimu entanama. What does that mean? That you can get a visitor in your house and those visitors tend to overstay their welcome. And then they become the boss of your house and they tell you what to do and what not to do. And that's exactly what Western governments have been doing to us. And now that we are open to alternatives, we have options, they don't like that, because the moment we realize and wake up and know that we have options and that we should be controlling the narrative, that in fact, we are the ones that are supposed to be controlling the terms of these arguments. They are like, no. Because guess what? These MFs, they're getting out of business. I get passionate when I'm speaking about this because I cannot wait to see the colonial legacies crumbling down, because this is the beginning of the end of this entire Western ideology of Africa has no peace, so we should go and help them. Yes, you send second-hand clothes to kids that you have destabilized and unalived their parents, right? While you're stealing gold and their diamonds. And some of your people that come and stay in our countries have the nerves to even say, God gave the poor diamonds and then gave us, the rich, the desire to do what? To exploit. When Africans are saying we are done and tired of exploitation, and you feel like you are still entitled to staying here, do you even know what a sovereign nation is? Or you still look at us as colonies? And when you look at our leaders that are speaking and they're blatantly open, they're like, we don't need you here. What can't you see? The signs are saying, get out. We don't want you. Like, do you feel like they're dumb, they're stupid? Ain't no way they can have the nerves. Because I think according to these people, when they look at our leaders that are speaking all of this, they're like, the nerves. Did you see what happened at Ghana inauguration when they were, swearing in the new Ghana president? Burkina Faso president came with, that pew-pew on his whatever, strapped really nicely. And did you see what, BBC reported? That he was destabilizing the peace. It whatever sparked concerns, security concerns, excuse you. And Ghana was like, they reached out to Ghana. I didn't say anything. Don't respond to this BS. Because now Africa has started working in synchronicity. I hope that you, because we know your tricks, because we know that you have tried numbers, countless numbers, on Burkina Faso president to get him out, right? If all of Africa wakes up, let's see how many you're gonna take down. Let's see how many you're gonna take down with this entitlement of feeling like you own Africa when you own your own countries and you do not allow Africans to have the same equal opportunities as, your own people on the resources that you loot and steal from Africa. I'm not trying to be hateful, but all I'm trying to say is, to people that don't have the interests of Africa, just exit. We don't need your services anymore, because that's exactly what, Senegal is saying. We don't need your services anymore. Take your bases. How many African countries have bases in your countries? How many African countries have bases in France? How many have in Britain? How many have in America? But what are they doing? To an extent that even in Congo, some of them got tired and they kicked out some of those bases because they were instead doing the opposite of what, yeah, we know why you're here. It's not because you want to protect us. You really don't care. That's the truth. You don't care. Not even a second. Yeah, but then you want to sit on the media and portray yourself as the good one. And we who are saying we are tired of you, we are the bad ones and we should feel bad. That period of feeling guilty for doing what is right for our people is over. Hello, Africa is waking up. What do you guys think? This got too far. I want you to let me know what you think in the comment section, and please subscribe to the channel. Yes, please subscribe to my channel membership program. It is very affordable. You have so much affordable packs that you can pick from. Yes, and super thank me if you find some of these episodes interesting, educative, and enlightening. I will definitely see you in another amazing video. Until then, Africa is taking another direction, a right one. My name is Gracie and I love you. Bye.